Hello dear students, welcome back to the Pharma Learning channel. Today I brought another video that is on the drying rate curve, that is one of the closely related with the drying unit operations. So let's try to understand the details for this one. Before I go into the video of that one, if you have any of the tutoring or the coaching need or any of the subject, any of the topic related to pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical technology, please feel free to contact on the email that is the pharmalearning@gmail.com. You can reach out to me any of the questions or query related to this topic of this video or any other topics related to other videos too. So now let's try to understand the first term, drying rate. Basically the rate is term which is used with respect to time. So it is a rate at which the moisture is removed from the material. So what it means, it tells that if we will find out the amount of the moisture during the drying rate cycle for the different period of the time, and from this we find out what is the amount of moisture is going to be removed for that time interval, then it is called the drying rate. Basically, the drying rate is affected by the moisture content or the water content of the material and the drying time. And that's why, because the drying rate is also always dependent on this both the parameters. So that's why when we are going to plot the drying rate curve, which is going to represent either the drying rate versus the moisture content as well as drying rate versus the drying time. So that's why we are always taking the drying rate on the y-axis because it's a dependent variable. Now let's try to understand the different two types of the drying rate curves within. Number one, that is the drying rate versus the moisture of the water content. As shown in this particular slide, that is as shown is over here in the red. That's the plot of drying rate versus the water content. So here the different this curves is shown by the different type of the shapes and the different denotations. As for example, it is like A dash to B or A to B. That is indicated the initial adjustment dash. So before we are going to start the drying process, okay, the dryer is going to be reach at a particular temperature, okay, and before the entire drying process will start. So that is going to be equilibrium. So that it is called as equilibrium period with the atmosphere and the environmental or the equipment conditions will be there. At the point B, when the drying rate is going to be or that particular equilibrium has been achieved, okay, the adjustment has been done, then the drying will take place for a particular time period, that is from the B to C, and that B to C into which we are trying to hold that particular material, into which the material is from which the material the water is going to be lost at a particular constant rate, and that's why it is called as a constant rate period. uh, the moisture content which is at the end of this period, let's say at the point C, and that is called the critical moisture content. The critical moisture terminology I already highlighted into my another video, that is the video that is of the drying introduction. Now after reaching to the point C, uh, then there will be the falling, means actual removal of the moisture will take place very fast. So that falling rate period can be divided into two. One that's called the first falling rate period, and the one is called the second falling rate period. First falling rate period is going to be like a C to D, and another second falling rate period, that is D to E in this case. Now let's try to understand the another the graph I shown it over here. What is exactly happening? During the concentrate period, the free moisture or the free water is going to be removed. Generally, the free that is a concentrate period. What we are talking, it is here denoted by the another, that's A to B instead of B to C. During the first falling rate period, the interstitial water, the water which is present, present on the top, and that is the easy can be removed, that can be removed for the first falling period. While during the second falling period, the water which is lying on the surface, that is bound with the atoms of the material on the surface, is going to be removed. And sometimes from during the second falling rate period, the moisture which is present within the material is also going to be removed from there. So when we want to understand the entire drying cycle, then we are plotting the curve of drying rate versus the moisture content, and which will highlight how the moisture is going to be removed at the different time intervals with respect to the different drying rate. The second drying rate curve is used, that is called the drying rate versus the drying time. Now as shown into this diagram, that is I divided into three parts. That's initial period, concentrate period, and the falling rate period will be there. And the line which is the blue line, that is showing you the drying rate. So initially the drying rate will be 0, and then slowly it is going to be increased. Okay, it is going to be increased, and then it is reduced to a constant. And after once it is we are maintain that particular temperature for the constant period of the time, then we are going to decrease the drying rate. So the drying rate is going to be decreased. Now what how will do happen with the moisture in this case? So let's say the moisture is high, so once it is going to be slowly coming out, And as you saw that we are going from the initial to the falling rate period, the slowly the moisture content or the moisture is going to be removed from the material. But the main important thing, try to understand over here, when we are when we have adjusted the drying temperature and the time, that is for the constant rate period, then what we are finding, the material from which the moisture is going to remove from this particular way slowly, and it is coming to this one, and then the remaining of the moisture is going to be removed from the falling rate period. That will be the first falling rate or the second falling rate, whatever it may be. But comparison of this three rate period, I can say that the moisture, maximum amount of the moisture is going to be removed during the constant rate period. Okay, because in the concentrate period we are trying to maintain the condition of the drying in the terms of temperature. That is very important will be there. So what I can say that when if we are going for the drying process, then initially we have to give some time for the material and the equipment to achieve that particular required drying conditions, particularly temperature. Once the temperature is going to be attained, then the loss of moisture will take place very fast, that is the water. And later on, if we are going to decrease that particular temperature, then again the remaining amount of the moisture is going to, because the material is already present in the heated state. So if you like my video, then give like to this particular video and subscribe my Farm Learning channel for the more upcoming videos related to pharmacy. Thank you.